It's collaboration time, and today I'm doing this collaboration with Myles Attempts Reviews, and today we're talking about our best, worst, underrated and overrated Pixar films per our opinion, so let's jump into this. Starting out, I'm going to talk about my 5 favourite Pixar films. These are in no order, so it's not like, oh, this is number 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. These are my 5 favourite films Pixar's made, and if you told me to put them in order, I couldn't do it. And these films are Toy Story trilogy. Who doesn't like Toy Story trilogy? Let's be honest with ourselves. The Toy Story trilogy is just win all round. I mean, it's like one of the best trilogies ever made, where each film in the trilogy is just great. So yeah, Toy Story trilogy. Then next I got Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is another film that shaped my childhood because I used to watch it all the time, and it's just the concept of it is just purely genius. And I think this was actually the 4th film Pixar made. It was the Toy Story 1, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, then this. And they just kept getting better and better. Monsters Inc. was just such an inventive, really creative film, and also really funny, witty, and just such an enjoyable film because of all the characters and all the monsters and all the dialogue and hilarity. I just love Monsters Inc. and you watch it today and it just still holds up on so many levels. Then finally, Finding Nemo. Now Finding Nemo is another film which I just gotta say the same stuff about Monsters Inc. It's such a creative film in terms of the whole concept, you know, talking fish and like the whole colony of fish under the water and all the different species of fish. And all the characters are really good, like Marlin's the overprotective dad, and he's kind of step out of his comfort zone, and he has the Dory, short-term memory loss character, trying to find Nemo, who's with the fish tank gang. It's just such a really good film, really emotional sometimes as well, really powerfully hitting if I'm going to use critical terms. And it's another film that shaped my childhood, and it's actually the film that I actually remember watching at the cinema earliest. It's the earliest film I remember watching at the cinema, so it has that kind of connection to me. So Finding Nemo is one of my very favourite Pixar films, and those 5 Pixar films, Toy Story trilogy, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, not only they're my 5 favourite Pixar films, but they are 5 of my favourite animated films like of all time. If you had to make a top 10 list, them 5 films, they've got to be in there somewhere, so they're my favourite ones. Now my least favourite Pixar film, I'd got to say, is Cars 2. Cars 2, I skipped out of the cinema, thank God, and I watched it on DVD. At first I was like, it's okay, but then I started thinking about it, I was like, no, that's not a Pixar film. No, that's just, no. So yeah, Cars 2, it just sacrificed cool stuff for the sake of all the, you know, stuff Pixar films usually are. Like, you know, it got all the morals and good messages and the adult stuff in there as well, like where adults can look at it and go, yes, that is awesome. But Cars 2 didn't have any of that stuff. I just thought it was just a generic kids movie for kids that kind of felt like a cop-out. Yeah, that might be kind of a sad thing to say, that it felt like a cop-out, but it just did. I mean, it didn't feel like any of the other Pixar films. So I've got to say the worst Pixar film for me, Cars 2. Whereas Cars 2 I thought was the worst Pixar film, Cars 1 I think is the most underrated Pixar film, because I love Cars 1, and I know I keep saying this about these films, but Pixar is just, I love Pixar for their ingenuity and their ideas, and I love Cars because of its ideas. It's like a world full of talking cars with faces and all that, and you have obviously like Lightning McQueen and Mater and all the cool characters, and also a cool soundtrack, really good animation, really cool like driving and race sequences. I love Cars 1, and I know I didn't really summarise it very well, but I know there's something else there, but I just love Cars 1. I think Cars 1 is definitely the most underrated Pixar film. Toughest one for me to answer is overrated Pixar film, because I personally don't think any Pixar film's overrated. I think the ones that have all the praise they deserve. But if you force me to say which one I think is overrated, in terms of the critical reaction, maybe Ratatouille. I don't know, I still really like Ratatouille, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a really awesome film. It's just like, in terms of like, it has like a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm just like, I don't know, Ratatouille. If I had to pick one, I'm sorry, but I won't say it is ever again. It's just for the purpose of this video, I'll just say Ratatouille just this once. So enough of me struggling to explain my thoughts, let's go over some Myles Attempts Reviews for their best, worst, underrated and overrated Pixar films. Take it away.
So, thank you guys all for allowing us to be on Jack's channel and stuff. He's a great person, and we're always happy to talk about
Love Jack.
Pixar movies. So, let's start with underrated, shall we?
Yeah, this is one I'm most excited about. Underrated movie.
We both agree on this one.
We got most of them, but the underrated movie we were thinking of like non-popular movies, but
just
like
say it.
Really good. Oh, sorry, it was Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
It's honestly one of my favorite Pixar movies, and I feel like when it came out, it was big, it had fun, but then it died really fast.
Yeah.
It didn't go to Disneyland's not Magic Mountain. Go to California Adventure. You don't find rides there. You don't find rides for this. You don't really find attractions. It was just sort of a forgotten Pixar movie, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what really stuck out, I saw it for the third time last night just to prepare because that was the only one I haven't seen for a while. It has a simple story, like really simple, the simplest out of all the Pixar films, really, but a clever twist, and everything works so well. Like, it brought me, not to tears, but I was like, that's really, I didn't remember it being.
It was probably
there's a lot of implications too that I was like, this is an adult story.
It was
It's
probably
a
one of the
cooking
most
movie
carefree
for
Ratatouille.
yeah,
Pixar
it's like, we're
movies.
just gonna do whatever we want, but not as carefree as some
No.
of the other ones we're gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the most overrated Pixar movie? Which you both agree
In
on
my
as well?
opinion, the most overrated Pixar movie is WALL-E.
I'm sorry, guys.
To
I
be
got shot.
completely honest, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that was kind of bad.
Really?
I didn't really like it. I
Really?
still don't really. I'm not a huge fan.
No, I like WALL-E, but I remember watching it when I was younger and I was depressed. And not that that means it's a bad movie on its own, but I feel like what works so well with Pixar is that it's great for kids and adults, and it wasn't really great for kids in my opinion. I mean, it would have worked better to me in live action. Now is the time to talk about the worst Pixar movie, which you'll head up to.
Worst Pixar movie. Well, we're gonna have to go ahead. This one came out immediately after probably the best Pixar movie, but that was Brave. It was bad.
Why was it so bad?
It had a lousy plot, to be completely honest. I was like, I wasn't a huge fan of the lead. I didn't like her that much.
Why?
I just didn't like her personality. She sort of
I was
like,
gonna make a bad sexist joke, but
You're
I'm not a
horrible.
I can't really do a worst Pixar movie because I haven't seen the ones they say are bad, and I like all of them, so I'm just agreeing with Brave as that. But now to the best, the top of the top. Wyatt, give me your best Pixar movie.
My favorite Pixar movie was Cars 2. I'm joking. It was Toy Story 3, the
Really?
greatest sequel, the greatest anything of all time. It brought home the Toy Story trilogy. It brought home almost Pixar itself. Pixar had come on this crazy journey. Pixar had overcome a lot of mountains, and it brought home the very beginning of Pixar, I guess.
Yeah, I think there were so many expectations because 1 and 2 were like nearly perfect, but it exceeded them. And to me, it's the only animated film, one of the only films I've ever seen where there's a sense of danger, that the characters can actually die. And it's like, it's insane. It's rated G, it's a kid's movie. But we've all seen it. There's the scene where they're all holding hands and they're going to the melting chamber.
I thought they were going to die.
I was like, oh my gosh. And it's just, it talks so much about growing up and letting go, and it makes you want to become a hoarder and be on Hoarders, the TV shows, and just hold back all your kids. But that's because it's such a great movie.
Very rarely do you get the final movie of a trilogy to be one of the best. It doesn't happen that
To me,
often.
it was the best. And
Yeah.
and we got to wrap up now, but thank you so much for hosting this great collaboration, and
Thank you, Jack's channel and stuff.
I'm really
and we'll
excited
see you
to
guys
see
later.
your thoughts.
See you later.
So there you have it. Thanks for watching the video. It's been great to do this collaboration with Myles. Go check out their guy's channel. They got some really good stuff on there. Give them subscribed and everything. Do it. So my question to you guys is, what is your best Pixar film, worst Pixar film, underrated and overrated Pixar films? All that stuff, tell me down there. And if you like this stuff, you want to see more of my stuff and my stuff, be sure to subscribe, because I got stuff coming to you guys and they got stuff coming to you guys all the time.